line-out calls, and a dummy miss one just doesn't cut the mustard. There are many people involved. There are as many people involved off the pitch as there are on it. Wales' thoroughness at the breakdown and attention to fitness levels are getting the whole nation excited that we could go even further than we've ever been before at this year's World Cup. So, how have they done it? Well, Professor Iwan Griffiths is going to tell us, aren't you, Iwan?
Well, good evening.
Welcome to the show.
It's nice to be called the Prof. Are you giving me a promotion there?
Are you? You're not a professor?
No, I'm not a real professor.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. No. Let's go with Professor, because it sounds better.
Last time I saw you, you were wearing a boxing shorts, punching a punch bag in my laboratory at Swansea.
Oh, really? With Enzo Macarinelli?
Macarinelli. Yes.
Wow, that was at Swansea University, of course. Yes. I didn't realise it was the same place.
Yeah, and you've still got your same shorts on tonight, I think. Same legs.
Big right hand.
Getting beaten up by the punch bag, were you?
Well, actually, I think they weighed my right punch as something like 2.1 tonnes over 0.767 seconds, which sounds quite impressive, doesn't it?
Yes, but Macarinelli was about 6 tonnes, so
yes, he was.
It did show you up a bit, but you did look good in the shorts, though.
Thanks very much. Just to confirm, I look good in the shorts. My goodness, I didn't realise it was the same place. Now, more importantly, you've been doing a lot of work with the Welsh rugby team. Stats is such a massive part of the game now. What exactly is the work that you do?
Well, basically, we've designed an app for an iPad, which has gone out with the Welsh team to New Zealand. And this iPad is displaying the match stats for the performance analysis team and for Warren Gatland eventually. And it's all done wirelessly. So you've probably seen the guys there with their laptops in the box, sitting next to Warren Gatland in the box.
So I've always wondered this. What exactly are they looking at there? What's the information they have in front of them?
Well, basically, everything that's happening on the pitch is coded up. So you've got people there pressing keys on their keyboards. You know, every tackle, every turnover, every penalty is being coded up on a timeline. And that obviously gives you a mass of data, which then has to be looked at by the coach to try and decide what to do next, basically.
How do you do that, Tom, as a player? If you're looking at all this sort of data, do you change things during the game based on the information you're getting?
As a player, excuse me, you basically get messages fed in to you. Obviously, Warren and the team will look at them. They'll feed them then down to people at the pitch side, which is normally Neil Jenkins, and then he might say, you know, look, the number 9's defending lazily. There's a lot of room behind. You know, there's a lot of space for a chip kick or things like that. So you do get a lot of information.
When you just see that, though?
No, it's difficult because you don't see everything on a pitch. You know, you're at ground level, and it's a lot easier seeing space from up high or behind the post. And you know, these coaches now have all different views of the game, and it's a lot easier to see, you know, where the space is.
So, Iwan, is the app an idea of getting the information quicker to the coaches so they can react during the game?
Yeah, that's right. It's updated every 15 seconds. So the team will be able to look at that data, you know, coming through, and it's displayed like as visual statistics.
Yeah.
You know, so as opposed to giving them numbers and graphs and things, we actually draw pictures for them on the screen on the iPad. And that iPad can be taken to the changing room at half-time, you know, and they can scroll backwards and forwards and look at how the game is going, and then the coaches can obviously decide, you know, are you going to try and change things? Do you need to do something differently, or, you know, carry on the way you are, and this type of thing. So, yeah, it's a lot of computer science in it, so it's quite technical, but in actual fact, it's really easy to use. And, well, the Welsh team are telling us that it's something, you know, quite useful for them. So we reckon that's been quite successful.
Well, it gives the coaches a better idea of where we're going wrong, and they obviously then relay that to us. So, you know, say, for instance, we're losing a lot of ball in the breakdown with, say, 3 players clean out, then obviously the next thing would be, you know, we won't worry about what's happening next. We'll send 4 in. Also with missed tackles as well.
I was going to say, did you ever work with Tom, Iwan? Because I'd imagine if you were working with Tom when he played, you'd probably crash the system with missed tackles, wouldn't you?
I told him that joke, though. He's stolen it.
Tackles missed is a very important factor, and I know, you know, Tom's been responsible for a fair number in his time. But No, you can show, in fact, that missed tackles are a very important factor in deciding the outcome of a game.
Of course.
Especially when the games are close at international level.
Yeah.
You know.
So have you been with the boys? I think you're based down at the Vale, aren't you? And there's a big sort of hub of information, computers down there. Is that right?
Yeah, the Centre of Excellence at the Vale. That's where the performance analysts for the WRU have their offices. And it's really space age. It's all cram-packed full of computers and cameras, and basically they got so much information now they don't know what to do with it. And that's where we've helped them, is trying to display that information in a form which is readily accessible. And that's where the iPad comes in, and the technology, and it's all marvellous stuff, really. I mean, the advances in computer science are just fantastic.
Does Warren Gatland, he seems to like it more than a lot of other coaches. I mean, he was talking earlier about the 69% of collisions is now 90% or something. And in one game, I think it might have been Namibia, he said Shane Williams had 22 touches, Jordan North had 8 touches, and he did that at the straight after the game. Straight after the game, he did an interview where he said that. So he had the information at his fingertips. Does Warren Gatland and the Welsh management like that a lot? Do they like the science part of it?
They do, and it's fair to say that actually the Welsh Rugby Union has the most advanced performance analysis function out of all the international teams. And they really are world leading in that respect. And obviously it doesn't always mean that you're going to win all your games, but at least the coaches have got all the information available to them, to make their decisions, and that's where we've played a small part.
When I was involved back in the day, I know Gatland used to love stats. He used to love stats on the pitch, about missed tackles, about collisions won. Also love stats in the gym as well. Everything's recorded. Every weight you push, everything, the force you use to push it, everything's recorded, and it's obviously relayed then back to Warren.
The players must dread Monday morning looking through the footage and seeing their name come up on missed tackle or knock on or whatever.
Yeah, but there's always a big board, and it's always got every moment in the game where you've touched the ball, or every time you've hit a ruck, whether it was a positive, every tackle, everything you want is in there.
You a stat man? Rate it?
Me?
Yeah.
So in some aspects it's good, but a lot of it, you've got to, someone might have 3 or 4 missed tackles on the pitch, but their contribution and the impact they have is greater. And a lot of it you have to look at how a person actually performs on the pitch to stats as well.
Were you going to say something anyway?
Yeah, I can illustrate that for you. Stats don't always tell the truth. If you look at scrums being lost, for example, you can look at winning teams and losing teams, and actually the stats show that winning teams actually lose more scrums than the losing teams, which seems to be standing stats on its head.
Yeah.
So the stats don't always give you the answer that you would expect.